There's this one skill that can pretty much supercharge your career, but it's something most of us never really get taught in school. And that skill? It's professional communication. So let's dive right in and figure out how to turn every single chat you have at work into a real career opportunity. Okay, we've all been there, right? You're leaving a meeting and you're somehow even more confused than when you walked in. You just sat through an hour-long talk and what was the point again? Well, that feeling, that confusion, that friction, it's almost always a sign that communication has completely broken down. And look, the stakes here are way higher than just feeling a little frustrated. When communication goes wrong, it costs companies real time and, you guessed it, real money. Projects get derailed, deadlines get missed, and honestly, it can just crush team morale. So getting this right, yeah, it's not just some soft skill. It's absolutely critical for the bottom line and for a healthy workplace. So that begs the question, why is this stuff so hard, especially at work? Let's break down what makes the office a totally unique and pretty challenging place to communicate. Yeah, this really gets to the heart of it. The workplace is just different. For starters, time isn't just time, it's money. Every conversation has a cost attached. And it's this weird mix of being professional, but also, kind of diplomatic. It's not like chatting with family. You have to be strategic. And maybe the biggest thing, every single interaction, every email you send, every comment you make in a meeting, it's all building or hurting your career. But okay, it's not all doom and gloom. There is a clear way to handle this. And that brings us to what we can call the professional framework. Think of it as a roadmap for having successful conversations at work. So what are we actually talking about here? At its core, professional communication isn't just random chatter. It's about exchanging information with a purpose. You're trying to achieve something specific, whether that's working together on a big project, making a decision, or even sorting out a conflict. Every word has a goal. And this whole idea is really built on four main principles. First up, clarity and conciseness. Just, being clear and getting to the point. Then there's adaptability, which is huge. You don't talk to your CEO the same way you talk to a new hire, right? Of course, there's respect and professionalism. That's the foundation for everything. And finally, active listening, which is so important that we're going to give it its own special focus in a little bit. All right, let's get practical. It's time to open up your communication toolkit. We're going to look at the different tools you have because you wouldn't use a hammer to saw a piece of wood, right? Same idea here. So inside this toolkit, you've basically got four main methods. You've got your verbal communication. That's just talking, like in a team meeting. Then you have nonverbal, which is all the stuff you're saying without saying a word, like your body language. Of course, there's written communication, your emails or reports. And finally, visual, for when a picture, like a chart, is worth 1,000 words. The real trick, the real skill, is knowing which one to pull out for the right situation. Okay, let's dig into the two big ones we use all day, every day. Talking versus writing. Choosing the right one is a strategic move. If you need an answer right now in real time and you want to build a connection, a verbal conversation is what you want. But if you need a paper trail, something people can refer back to, or you're making a formal announcement, that's when you turn to written communication. One is instant, the other creates a record. But hey, don't forget about what you're not saying with your words, your nonverbal cues, your facial expression, how you're sitting, whether you're making eye contact. They can scream louder than anything you actually say. Seriously, your body language can either back up your words or make people doubt everything you're telling them. It's a huge part of building trust. All right, I told you we'd come back to this, and here we are, because this one skill really deserves its own moment in the spotlight. We spend so much time thinking about what we're going to say, but communication is a two-way street. So let's talk about the other half, the power of listening. Okay, look at this number, 25%. Just let that sink in for a second. Studies show that most people, on average, only remember about a quarter of what they actually hear. That means a massive 75% of what's being said just vanishes. Think about that. Think of all the mistakes, all the misunderstandings, all the brilliant ideas that get lost in that gap. This is exactly why I say active listening isn't just a nice-to-have skill. It's a legit superpower. So how do we get that superpower? Well, it's actually a pretty simple 4-step process. First, you observe. And that means you're not just hearing the words, you're watching their body language too. Step 2 is to focus. Come on, you know what this means. Put the phone away, close the extra tabs, give them your full attention. Step 3, acknowledge. Show them you're with them, a little nod, an uh-huh. It goes a long way. And finally, step 4, maybe the toughest one of all, respect. Just let them finish. Don't interrupt. Don't plan your response while they're still talking. Hear them out completely. Okay, so we've got the framework, we've got the tools, we've talked about listening. Now let's tie it all together and talk about the big so what. Why does any of this matter? Because this isn't just about sounding better in meetings. It's about fundamentally unlocking your career growth. This right here, this is the payoff. When you get good at this stuff, what happens? Well, you build stronger relationships with the people you work with. Your whole team becomes more efficient because there's less confusion. Your ideas actually get heard and, more importantly, understood. And all of that comes together to do one thing: push your career forward faster. You know, this quote really just nails it. It says, continuous improvement in communication leads to better relationships and career growth. And that's the key word right there: continuous. This isn't something you learn once and you're done. It's a muscle you have to keep working. But the more you work it, the stronger your career and your workplace relationships will get. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. Your very next conversation at work, whether it's a big meeting or just a quick email, it's not just another thing on your to-do list. It is a genuine career opportunity. It's a chance to build trust, to show how clear you can be, and to take another step forward. So the only question left is, are you prepared to take it?